All right, everyone, welcome back to another edition of DCC Wrestling. Well, today's episode is a special edition. It is our Halloween episode, and we are going to be reviewing Halloween Ends that just played in theaters this past weekend. And as you can see, I have Michael in my background right there, the mask from Halloween Kills. Also have the shirt here. You see, but you can see Michael on the shirt. He had the shirt also. You want to show it off too?
Yeah, I show mine. Mine's is better than yours.
All right, let me see it, bro. You showing it off when I'm showing mine off, bro.
I mean, you don't need to see it. You see it all the time.
You got the original, the John
Mine
Carpenter.
say John Carpenter on it. Yours don't say that. Yours is just Michael.
I mean, I gotta stand up. Mine say, it just say Halloween on it. Let me see.
Basic. All right, just basic. Basic.
Yeah. Say Halloween on it.
Basic.
But we saucy nonetheless with the Halloween joints. But yeah. So Halloween Ends, man. Everybody says it's a very decisive film. I can agree to that. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's very divisive. Either you're gonna go in and like this movie, or you're not gonna like it. Only thing I will say is give it a chance for what it really is. I mean, this is like the same thing that they ran into with the original Halloween 3 is fans backlash because there wasn't enough Michael Myers in the film, or to that, like none at all in Halloween 3 season, which Michael Myers wasn't really in this film as much, but I don't really think it really hurt the film, to be honest. You just got to go in and watch the story for yourself and let the story play out. But I mean, if you are coming into, I can agree to a point that for it being the ending of a saga, of a franchise, of a mass murderer that we all love here, I would be a little bit upset about him not being in the movie as much and feeling as much. So I agree. I agree with anybody who has that same sentiment on both ends.
Okay. Well, let's get into the plot of the movie, right? So the plot is 4 years have passed since the events of Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, which both took place on the same night. Laurie and Allison are both trying to put that trauma from that night behind them and try to live a normal life in the town of Haddonfield. So they both moved in together, and Laurie is really embellishing the holiday of Halloween. Like in this movie, she's like putting up decorations. She's trying to make pumpkin pie. She's trying to entice Allison to go to the Halloween party that's gonna happen later that day. So she's they both trying to get back to a life of normalcy in the town of Haddonfield. Okay, now Michael Myers, on the other hand, since the events of Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, he has been living underground in the sewers for the past 4 years. And he has got progressively worse. He's like the sewer in a way, right? He's deteriorating at parts. Like he's become the literal sewer in this movie. But his legacy still casts a shadow over Haddonfield to where like you get like murders committed in the town. They show you like some murders that happened on the town on Halloween in the past couple years and shit like that. Being introduced in the film, we see his impact is still there, based on the murders of that town that's happening in that town. And I thought that was a pretty cool opening. I thought it was a pretty cool opening to the film. What about you?
I mean, we can talk about that. So, beginning of the film, we're introduced to, as I say, a wealthy family in Haddonfield. Like the camera, the first shot of the film shows them pulling up to like a mansion, quote unquote, just very well off. And we're introduced to Jeremy, the kid, and we're introduced to Corey, which is basically the main character of the film. And he's another babysitter, or quote unquote a babysitter.
Yeah, he's like a good guy. Like he's like Laurie was in the original film. But go ahead.
So yeah, we're introduced to him, and he meets the family of the kid named Jeremy. He's gonna be babysitting. The parents go out to a costume party, and they're just watching the thing. What's that? 1970 what?
I can't remember the damn year. It's 19. It's got to be 1980 something, not 70 something.
Okay. Well, the original thing, Kurt Russell. If you know, you know. So we're watching it on the couch, and basic banter. Try to get the comedic timing down and comedic. They telling jokes or whatever. Then Jeremy becomes a little brat.
No,
Yeah,
let's say what he is. He's a little asshole. He's not
I
likable.
mean,
But go ahead.
he's a little brat. He was pretending to be all nice and stuff in front of his parents. But once his parents leave, he shows his little bitty true color. So um, that's funny.
And you can
But
tell, from the beginning that he's like a prankster. From like when you introduce to Corey and he's looking, and his mom is calling Jeremy down to come meet the babysitter, and he comes from underneath the stairs for a jump scare on his mom and shit like that. So you already know just the based off that he's a prankster and shit like that. He like pranking. They're going back and forth to Corey and Jeremy going back and forth to see who was really scared while watching the thing. And Corey ends up going to the kitchen to get some chocolate milk, maybe cut a slice of cake, and
zucchini bread, actually, sir.
I thought that looked like chocolate cake to me, bro. I ain't know it was them
I
damn
mean,
zucchini bread.
zucchini. Zucchini is brown.
Hey,
But go ahead.
excuse me, I thought it was chocolate cake.
It's vegan. It's not vegan. I'm joking. But
All right, but so as he's in the kitchen about to give him some chocolate milk, he hears this loud thud. Like the light. He turns around, the lights on the ground and shit like that, and Jeremy's nowhere to be found. And when he goes back into the kitchen, the knife is gone. Half of the zucchini bread is eaten. And then he hears all the thump. Corey hears all this thumping throughout the house. He's going to investigate. He arms himself with a knife. And then he ends up finding a knife that was already on the kitchen table upstairs, like on the second floor. And he goes all the way up to the attic to look for Jeremy because he's calling Jeremy. No response. Jeremy sent help, so he's luring him into this position. And as Corey's in the attic, the door slams behind him and it locks. And it turns out that Jeremy's behind all that. And he's trying to really scare Corey. At the same time, Jeremy's parents are rolling up to the crib, come back home from the costume party. And all this time, Jeremy's talking shit to Corey. And Corey is, panicked, frightened, trying to open the damn door. So he's kicking the damn door. He's kicking it. He kicked it about 5 or 6 times. And then on that 6th time, he finally kicked the door open. It hits Jeremy in the head. And he flies over the fucking balcony to his death. Now, what was your reaction to that death? To the first kill of the movie?
I thought we were going to see Michael like probably in the attic somewhere. And I was just waiting for him to, come out in the back corner and maybe kill Corey at that point, but it didn't happen. So like that kind of grabbed my attention.
What me? When I saw the kill, I enjoyed the kill actually, even though it was blurry at towards the end of it. But I enjoyed the kill because the kid was a little asshole. So I mean, assholes get what they get, and you don't expect people to kill kids in films, and that happened. That kid got killed in the beginning of the film, which was pretty cool. So I enjoyed it. But let's get on the topic of Corey, right? The most divisive character you're gonna hear about through all these reviews. Me personally, after watching the film, I liked Corey. I thought his character development was spot on. It was pretty good to me. He was a great main character in this film to me, from beginning to end. Now that I thought about it somewhat, I can understand why his payoff wasn't as big as it could have been. But overall spectrum with Blumhouse, with this being the last of the Halloween films pertaining to Blumhouse making them, I can understand why they went the route that they went at the ultimately end of the film. But yeah, man, so Corey in this film, great. His character development was cool. You slowly seen his descent into madness from the time he murdered Jeremy at the beginning of the film by accident and everybody deeming him like the new psycho of like the town Haddonfield, and how he got off from that murder, and how it was on purpose when it wasn't. It was a true accident. And you see like some of his like psychological warfare and shit, like where he don't go out and people treating him like shit every time he turn around or go somewhere. But
I get what you're saying.
like yeah, like from the time he met Michael and shit, like you can see like where they was going, like and it's one shot like that I love, like in that part when he meets Michael, not when Michael grabs him and shit and chokes him and looks into his eyes and shit like that. And so quote unquote passes the evil to him. Not that part, but it's a subtle part that if you after that you will see him in the tunnel. It's a pan shot. You will see the tunnel and you will see him. And it's light. It's like light at the end of the tunnel. And to me, that light solidifies like the rabbit hole that I'm talking about in his descent into madness. If you look at it, that's just how I look at it when visualizing films. But I like that shot at the 40-minute mark when he meet Michael. But yeah, his character art was pretty good, man. Just the way he slowly influenced Allison and shit like that, like did shit behind her back and shit like that. I thought that shit was pretty cool. So me looking at the film overall from the last time I watched it, I like his character. They get an A. I'll give him an A- for his character. I enjoyed his character. Laurie's character also great. So that's already two good things for me with the character development side with Corey and with Laurie. Laurie's trying her best to fit back into the town, trying to be a normal resident of the town. She's trying her hardest, and you get points in the movie where people are assholes to Laurie, and it was a surprise in the film that I didn't expect to see from with the lady from the last film, the interracial couple, but. I can get the frustration there.
Her name was Betsy or something.
Don't know. Don't remember her name. But I can get the correlation with that. I mean, you can see some people still in the town treating Laurie like fucking shit, referencing her as the what was she, the psycho or something, the freak show, some shit. But Laurie was trying her hardest to fit back into the town. Some people accepted it, some people didn't, and they was blaming her for the crazy shit that's taking place, which is fucking stupid to me. But don't matter. Jamie Lee Curtis kicked ass in this movie. I don't need to say nothing that solidifies her as being great in the film. We already know she's been great throughout all the roles she had in the Halloween franchise. This is no different. Now with Allison, I felt like they didn't have too much for her to like do, so they made her and Corey have a love relationship, and this shit happened quick. So Allison's working at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, and Jamie brings in Corey after they had the incident with the marching band, as you called them. And she comes in to fix Corey's hand after he don't cut it on some glass, like a glass bottle or whatever. And just like that, instantly, after 5 minutes of talking to each other, they had like a sparked interest in one another.
I think that was super rushed. That was, I mean, it came across that shot you're talking about. That shot just came across as like they had to get some, like this was for the plot, like they had to be together for the plot of the movie to work. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it felt like to me. I don't know what the idea was. Like it happened just too fast. It's like love at first sight, which is very weird. You know what I mean? I just didn't understand that.
That was for the plot. That ain't no way around it. That was for the plot to have something for her to do and for her to be included in the overall film, was to have her relationship, have Corey be her new love interest. And I guess he's the nicest guy in Haddonfield. I guess. But based on the last dude she dated, the cop. Shit, she got too many options. Another thing that I love in terms of character development was the citizens of Haddonfield. That's a positive to me, because Halloween Kills, they were a little bit over the fucking top with the evil must die tonight shit. I understand that notion, but they took that shit from like a 10 to 100 in the last film. In this one, David Gordon Green them decided to let's bring it back down to normal. Let's bring it down to like a 7, a 6, or 8, and let's have these people act normal. Not saying they didn't act normal in the last film. They just took the shit way overboard, way overboard. And this one, in this film, you got your assholes, you have your nice people, and you have your in between. So that's normal. Like in the broad spectrum of general life, that is normal. So I felt like that was a positive going into this film once I saw it, as opposed to what we got in Halloween Kills. So the townspeople were a whole lot better in this film, a whole lot better. Another positive to me was the kills. And you're gonna hear a lot of people say that there weren't enough kills, but the way I put it and the way that I view it now is that if you watch, so this whole lineup, right, from Halloween 1978 to Halloween Ends, it's 4 films, right, 4 films. I look at it as you got your action in the middle of this timeline from Halloween 2018 to Halloween Kills, and Halloween Kills being the most you got the most kills out of any film, right? So in 1978, less is more. He killed what, 3 people maybe, and a dog in the first film. 2018, he probably killed, I don't know, I can't think it off the top of my head, probably 6 or 7 maybe. Halloween Kills, I ain't gonna go into how many people he killed. He killed at least probably about 15 plus maybe in that film. In this one, when the kills happen, they are great. I always say when going into a Halloween film that if the kills have purpose and they make sense, they're great kills to me. I think all these kills here had purpose and they were great. Michael had a couple, but his kills had purpose because you seen it through the course of the movie that where they was doing that he was gonna get revenge on all the people who fucked with him during the entire movie. So you seen all that shit happening, all that shit doing. And the first time we were introduced to Michael, I believe that must be our second kill of the entire. Well, no, that's probably our third kill of the movie. The first kill for Michael, right, when he's in the sewer and shit, and he kills the officer. And you can see Michael's like a broken down shell of himself, right? Like he's hunched over and shit like that. Like age is really shown. Like he's showing his fucking age. Like it just look weird, man. It look weird. And then you can see Michael convulsing and shit after he's done killing him and shit. Like he got his power back. And that scene was kind of cool to me. I like the scene. It was alright. And you get that shot of Michael standing up, his posture and his back right and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like most of the kills in this movie, I think they were cool. And my favorite kill in the entire movie, includes the blowtorch. So you get to that point, you will see why it's probably my favorite kill. But yeah, in terms of the kills are great. Less is more, and they have purpose.
Okay, so we're gonna agree on some aspects. We're gonna disagree on some aspects. One thing I didn't like though, so Corey, right? Corey, we said Corey was, he was developed well, right? I agree with you on that aspect. But there's a couple points in the movie where I don't like, him whatsoever. Corey and Michael are like tag teaming, quote unquote, or Michael showing Corey how to kill. If you want to put it that way, you can put it that way as well. There was a couple points in the movie where I didn't like where, like I said, Corey. I feel like Corey was acting too hard. Maybe that was the direction they told him to. He goes in the sewer, right? And him and Michael get into like a little shoving match, and he just overpowers Michael, like makes Michael look like a freaking chump. Pushes him down to the ground, takes his freaking mask. I'm like, dude, wait a minute. It just didn't sit right with me, knowing what kind of character Michael is. And then one other thing that bothered me, and the other thing that bothered me is when we get to the scrapyard and the marching band gets there, and they're looking for Corey, and Corey comes out with the truck and runs the gate down or whatever. He gets out his first kill. He gets out of out of the truck. And if you look closely, he's got it. He's got the Michael mannerisms down already. Like, who the fuck taught him that shit? Who taught him that? Who taught him how to walk like Michael? Who taught him how to put his hands down straight down to the side like Michael? Who taught him that? I'm just curious. Like, did we miss that scene completely? Were they in the sewer? With Michael talking and teaching him how to walk and how to stump people's heads. I just didn't like. I'm just curious. Where did it come from? Where did he get this strength from? I think they should explain this stuff. I think you just can't put this stuff in the movie and expect it to be like A-okay with each and every person that goes to see the movie.
To get to your point that you're referring to, I won't classify this as no counter, but I'm just saying in the movie. So when Michael grabs him, right, and transfers whatever he transfers to him, they put it as an example of they refer to it as an infection, right? The evil as an infection. Even Laurie says it, and that as it can slowly spread and take over your body. So they probably either harken that to like some of the mannerisms you talking about, how he walking like Michael and how he gets the strength and stuff. So like most of that stuff that Michael transferred to him is slowly taking over him. So that's why he probably has those mannerisms. And then once he's able to overpower Michael, because Michael's a shell of his former self, right? Michael's in this movie. Michael is deemed more of a mortal man now, not some sort of strong entity, right? Even though his legacy still casts a shadow over Haddonfield. In this movie, you gonna get not hobo or homeless Michael. You will get that, but you will get him more as a mortal man now. And Corey, taking it as Corey taking over his powers, right? From the time they introduce and lock eyes to each other, Michael transfers most of his what he has left into Corey, and it slowly takes over Corey. And it goes back to that scene in what you was talking about when the dad of the Jeremy's dad pulls up on the side of the road and he sees Corey walking, and he said he looks in his eyes and he don't know that if the evil was already there or the evil has been transferred to him. And the same thing Laurie said is like when he came in after killing the hobo and meeting Michael for the first time. Even Laurie said something was different about Corey when she saw him. She looked into his eyes and she seen Michael's eyes, the same exact look that she saw when she looked at Michael's eyes. So you can probably just say Michael just transferred whatever he had to Corey, and it slowly took over his body over time. So that's why you probably get those mannerisms, like I said. The movement down, like I say. The kills down, like I say. So it just Michael transferred his stuff to him. So that's probably where I can see the common sense coming into the question you asking. So that's all I'm gonna put out there.
I think that's just interpretation. I think anybody can interpret it different though. When he started doing the killing, I wasn't really behind it. It didn't really like hold no weight to me personally because I knew this guy ain't the guy that was doing all of that has a legacy behind him. Quote unquote, like you saying. So it didn't impose the same feeling to me. It just felt like a guy getting his get back to me. I mean, which was good, which was the good part of the movie. I mean, his kills were great, but I just think they didn't hold really any weight because one, he tried to be like somebody he wasn't, and two, he wasn't really a bad guy. If that makes sense. I mean, any person with the power to kill would obviously get back at anybody who's done them wrong. Michael just killed just for sport. You know what I mean? We don't know what drove Michael. People drove Corey to killing him, right? He was bullied. People in the town talked about him, or people who did him dirty, like just did anything. He killed them. And Michael, there was a difference. Michael just killed just to kill. We didn't know his motive. Corey has a motive to burn the city of Haddonfield. Michael just didn't really care about Haddonfield. He just was killing. Later on in the movie, when Corey goes to try to kill Laurie, Jamie Lee, and he opens the door and he gets shot twice, right? If he was evil like Michael, right? I'm pretty sure Michael would have fell over the banister, right? And before Laurie got down there, would have disappeared. I'm just saying if based on your interpretation.
I disagree on that because we've seen a lot of instances where Michael been shot or he been hit. And he stayed on the ground. He let the person walk past him, and then he grabbed him. So I ain't gonna say if he gets shot right there, he gonna instantly disappear. I gotta disagree with that. I get what you're saying when you say because I had the same feeling. So like when he donned the mask, we knew who was behind the mask and we knew who was doing the killing. So it had like a very Friday the 13th, a new beginning type of feel to me, with Rory doing the kills instead of Jason. So I agree with you there. I understand what you say there. Um, I disagree. I still disagree. Just the scene you talking about when Lori goes to fake suicide and she kills and she shoots Corey in the chest twice and he falls over. He's human, remember? He ain't Michael yet. You know what I mean? He's
I
human.
mean, I mean, all
And
right. Look, I'm just gonna interject this. I just want to pose a question to you, right? Say if me and you beating somebody up, right? And they on the ground and we stomp their face. Are we humanly able to stomp their face to mush? Yes or no? I'm just curious.
no,
No, right? So why is he? So why is he able to if he's still human? And before we get to this point, with Lori, right? He stumps the girl's head in. Correct? Yes or no?
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So how you gonna take that aspect of Michael, but can't take the disappearing aspect of Michael? If he's slowly turning into Michael, yes, he's human. Michael was human too. Michael was human when he got shot 6 times, but Michael walked.
but
Before they got out to see him, he was gone. That's all I'm saying. I mean, just little stuff like that,
I
and
mean,
that's where you just get the little.
I
That's a nitpick, but
I
I'm just
understand.
that's a
Yeah, I
question.
mean, I mean, I won't say it's a severe nitpick, but it's a nitpick. I get what you're saying,
It's an aspect of
but
Michael. That's all I'm.
but he literally just got that same power within what probably not even hours, like a couple hours time. So I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that's apples and oranges there. You can pick out what you want to pick out there, but I ain't gonna harp on that. While we were in the theater after Lori faked Corey out and she shot him with the gun, everybody clapped. Everybody literally clapped in the theater after that scene, after she shot him, and Lori tries to tell him that she tried to help him. She tried her hardest to be normal here, but they weren't gonna get one. He wasn't gonna get one over her. And as they hear Allison's cars coming up to the house, Corey stabs himself in the neck, killing himself, so it can make it seem like that Lori was the one who killed him. And Allison sees this, and she has her emotional breakdown, whatever, from a guy she just met earlier on in the day, pretty much, or a couple days before, whatever. And she leaves, and then you hear the footsteps of Michael in the house, and he picks up the mask. And Lori locks the door, so it just hurt Michael. So we get into the final fight that everybody talks about, that you hear a lot of people talk about with their reviews. I thought the final fight was good. Okay, hear me out. I thought it was cool, but it won't rival. It is not as great as everybody makes it out to be, in my opinion. Just for me, I still believe that the 2018 fight from Halloween 2018 was the best fight of all the movies, pretty much, to me. And this fight doesn't come close to it at all. Because Michael's just not that same force he was, and he ain't meant to be. Michael had his time in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, like we say. But I thought the final fight was cool, and Lori got the upper hand.
Okay, for me in the theater, my reaction, I was like, okay, business is about to pick up. You know what I mean? Because we get the one-on-one. I honestly thought he was going to kill her. You know what I mean? Because this isn't
Me
the
too.
house.
Me too.
This isn't the house that she doomsday prepped for him.
I had that same feeling like in the pit of my chest, like this is the finale. I'm like, oh, okay, so Michael gonna end up fucking killing Lori, or Lori gonna end up killing him. One or the other.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be.
I mean, one of them had to go, but I also would have been fine if both of them went. But like business about to pick up. It's a fair one this time. They run in a fair one. So I think the fight was good. I think it was the most action pretty much we got in the movie. I mean, if you're going into this movie, right, and the ending of a franchise that you watch, obviously these are the two people you want to see clash. So I mean, just based on that, I mean, I loved it just because of the fact I knew it was Jamie Lee versus Michael. So I mean, I thought the fight was fantastic. I mean, for what it was, it helped Michael get on the screen a little bit more. Obviously Michael was weaker, whatever, but he still got with her ass. I mean, as best as he could.
All right, so Laurie came out on top on the fighting scene. Allison leaves the town to start a new life. Lloyd wraps up her memoir book that she's been writing from her experiences of the last two films, or the last three films. And she begins, not a relationship, but begins to open up and create that dialogue with Hawkins. And that is pretty much the end of Halloween Ends. Me, I give it a solid, like a B. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't as to me. It wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. I think you have to watch it for yourself to make a true an opinion on it, and don't let nobody else's opinion sway your opinion before watching it.
I think.
But
I mean, I think I'll give it
I
a
think
C.
it was a good film though.
I think I'll give it C minus.
Damn, a C minus.
C minus. This will definitely be the last. Like out of the trilogy, this will definitely be the last one I would watch. 2018 would be number one. Halloween. Yeah, I mean, when you agree. I mean, you gave it a B plus. Right?
I wouldn't give it a C minus. That's I mean, that's you. No,
I mean, I just think you just got think. I think of it like this. Okay, so I just seen a statistic online where Michael uh, was. I think he spent 9 minutes and 30 seconds on screen in Halloween 1978. He actually spent more time on screen in this film, but there's a difference from this film and a difference from that film. Michael was the only killer in that film, right? And they established Michael as just being a shape. You know what I mean? Just that the evil lurking over your shoulder. It could be anything. In this movie, he was playing teacher. I'll recommend it for anybody to watch it. Just go on it without looking forward to seeing more Michael Myers. I mean, just take it for what it is. It's a good movie. It just ain't as good because it doesn't have the main character in it. Michael Myers is in it mostly in the film.
But to me, I say watch it. I give it a B. It was fine to me, and over the overall spectrum of the films, I knew what I was walking into, so I wasn't really surprised. But yeah, that's our review of Halloween Ends. I will probably watch it again after I'm finished with this. And yeah, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, share, and subscribe down below. And we will see you in the next video. We out, bro.